It began to growl and bare its teeth to him. The beast, a large dog, almost wolf-like, slowly shook the snow from its fur and rattled a growl through its throat before walking out into the sidewalk. Gabriel placed the plate down in front of himself, revealing the cake. He clutched at his guitar and took a few steps back as the dog stalked forward. It barked and roared deeply, jolting forward and breaking into a sudden chase. This startled Gabriel, causing him to drop his guitar as he turned and struggled to find his footing in the snow and slicked sidewalks. He took off and made it about 10 or so houses down before he noticed the sound of something familiar. Some muted tone, some hushed siren's call of music, was laying itself down gently over the snowy streets. This was the melody that he had been tapping out and playing before. It passed through the air now from an unseen source. The dog barked and lay itself down in the snow again, closing its eyes and allowing freshly falling snow to cover its back again. Gabriel carefully walked to the other side of the street, kept his eyes on the dog until he had put enough distance between it and himself. He kicked at the snow. It had almost caused him to slip. He was done with this evening and was ready to make it to his bed for the night. He gathered the plate of cake and his guitar, inspecting them both as he walked through the door. He frantically searched the room, looking to see if his mom was still awake. It looked like she was tired of something from all the cooking and present wrapping. He reflected on how he'd only paid loose attention to his mother and brother as he got home from work earlier. He sat down, faced the blank screen of the television, and watched it for a moment. His reflection gazed back at him, its darkened eyes judging him. He took in a deep breath and lay his head back against the arm of the couch. His leg was brought up and his hand fluffed his shirt before he placed both of them against his stomach. His eyes got heavy, and his body relaxed into the angles of the couch, and he scooched into its form until turning his head to the side. His vision fluttered in near sleep. His mind let go of the dog and the chase. He eased himself from the thoughts of playing and even the excitement of Christmas morning. The melody, the song from before, floated back into his head and over his lips as he began to hum and tap. The song began to breathe and creep to life in his chest. It reverberated and hummed deeply in his belly before his body relaxed more and his eyes closed in surrender. He felt darkness fall over the room, blanketing the lights and colors and erasing the lingering smells of dinner and spruce tree. Even the feel of the couch at his back seemed to fade away, and now he felt enveloped by some warm breeze that called him to attention. He awoke to the sight of some vast field, bathed in moonlight, at the foot of some old and grand foundation. Stone pillars, clothed in moss and vine, towered over him and led him into an open corridor. This corridor was overrun with beautiful blue flowers that glowed with a pale hue. In the middle of the corridor, on a large stone marked in symbols, sat a woman clad in a black dress. Her long black hair, with its sheen and curls, fell over her shoulders and shielded her face from view. It only allowed her left eye through, and it kept glued to her instrument. She played a deep red cello with a bow made of aged bronze and cedar. The strings vibrated with that song, loud and flaunting about the nighttime air. Gabe walked down the aisles of stone, mesmerized by her playing. Though he couldn't see her face, he received her by the beauty of her song and admired her with wide eyes and a mouth ready to confess admiration. "Where am I?" he called out to her. He got close enough to touch her. He circled her seat and studied her devotion to the music she played. It was like he wasn't even there. It was just her and the music. "Hey, can you hear me? Hey, where am I?" he asked again. This time, her arms raised outwards, as if preparing for a big hug. They crashed in along the sides of the cello, and her fingers quickly danced up and out along the strings in pizzicato before she slowly raised her head to the moon and revealed a face scarred and bloody, her mouth in particular lacerated along the left side. She stood, placing the back of her cello against the stone. Walking in a circle around Gabriel, she studied him now. "Outsider?" she gasped. "What do you need here?" Gabriel responded with a flustered fit of statements. "I don't need anything here. I need to get home. I must be dreaming or something." The woman shook her head in laughter. A voice called out to the night. "Jean Crew." Her voice seemed full of disgust and ridicule. Gabriel was instantly offended. "What'd you just call me?" He stepped in front of her, stopping her investigative circles. He was about a head taller than her and flared his chest in protest. She moved her head and neck, gazing up at him through tufts of mangled hair. "You shouldn't be here. You are Jean Crew." She pressed a hand into his chest. Her fingers seemed as if they could push beyond the barrier of his skin and bone, take his heart in her hands, and parse the blood within like a steady and fragile flow of a fountain. "You are one who does not know the darkness." His body relaxed and recoiled back before he moved from her path. "What does that even mean?" he stuttered. Gabriel had given up on his questions being answered. These were now just inquiries he had to voice, or he felt that he would have drowned under them. The woman danced in place, her bare feet pushing through the flowers underfoot. She went back to her cello and sat down to play again. Gabriel called out to her. "What was that song?" He stepped harshly across the grass and flowers, trampling them underfoot. "Why did I hear this song?" Her fingers plucked the strings as she positioned the bow that fell gracefully along them and pulled that song from its body. "Faint Spirit." Her body fell over the cello again, and she improvised the song around its beautiful refrain. "This is the song of the second moon. It calls it to its place in the sky." Gabriel found himself pulled to her feet and sat there with the music caressing him like a gentle breeze. "How can a song move the moon?" he quietly asked as he glanced up over the cello at her. She smiled from the left side of her mouth. "What do you think would make you move like that?" Gabriel thought to himself for a minute. He touched the side of a flower as he pondered what she asked. The woman noticed his confusion and smirked again. "It's love," she chuckled. "The moon is in love." They both paused and allowed the song to wash over them. "All of the things in Darkworld are alive," she hummed. "The moon is no different." Gabriel now allowed himself to not only hear the music, but to feel it again, and was overwhelmed with a sort of calm that he had never felt before. He reached up to touch the body of the instrument. He felt the low hum of the music and the way it seemed to borrow his senses, monopolizing them for itself. He looked up at the woman again. She became more odd to him the more that he noticed about her. She matched his gaze, noticing his eyes had now fixed on her scar. She noticed the way his eyes seemed shy about stealing gazes of it, and the way his tongue banished itself to the back of his mouth, forbidden from the question, burning along his throat. Rodriguez, she began. He did this. They sat there for a moment more. Obvious questions and answers hovered in the air above them. All areas of this world have rules. Spite and warning coded her words. And for each rule, there must surely be a punishment for their violation. Her song took on a heavier tone, her bow digging and sawing deeply into the strings. Gabe sat up, his eyes narrowed in question. What rule did you break to get something like that? The song again grew, widening itself over their heads and all at once crashing down over them. I don't know yet. She wept regretfully. I still don't know.